Hello everyone, my name is Rim, and today I would like to present you a couple points about Revenant Shortbow. So, my first impression of the weapon is that it has a little bit low damage. It's a little bit low on damage. It's obviously it has to be lower than mace, but the pressure is not really enough currently. The conditioned pressure and the power pressure. So, just a quick general overview of the Shortbow. Shortbow has no escape potential, and at the same time it's a 900 range weapon opposite to 1200. What 900 range means is that it will often put you into more dangerous positions. It will not allow you as good positioning as 1200 range weapon, yet the weapon has no defensive potential. So you're as well as the elite spec and the legend. So what you're relying on is defense and repositioning provided by your legend. If your second legend has no reposition, then you're in in a big trouble against enemy divers such as thieves. Overall condition pressure, as I said, is a bit low. The durations of conditions, I think, could be a bit higher. There's a weird bug, I think, with Shatter Shot and Bloodbeam Path, as none of them seems to be affected by Blood Fury. As you can see, it's not just tooltip. If I scroll over, I have Carrion's Amulet, no extra durations. Yeah, no extra durations. If I scroll over, for example, here it has 3-second duration of bleed. I get Blood Fury, it should increase by 25. I get Fury, and it does nothing. Same thing happens for Bloodbeam Path, so it could be bugged. But in general, Shatter Shot is really good. Autoattack, it's fairly quick. It pierces, it's great with headpiece, and it cleaves 5 targets, which is really nice for World vs. World. Second skill, Bloodbeam Path. This one is a bit fun to use, since it doesn't require face position, as normally your skills will require you to face a target. This one does not. You are fully mobile while casting this. For example, I can run away from the target, still cast it. It doesn't turn me, I can move freely. This is a really good skill. It also procs all the traits such as Assassin Annihilation. So yeah, the first two skills are great. Now we are going to the main criticism of this weapon, which is skill 3. 7 shot. It fires 7 shots, as it says, at this skill shot, and has this skill shot. The problem with this is, maybe as you see even now, first things first, it really bugs out when it comes into terrain. As this is a very wide skill, it will show you 7 shots, but for example, if there is a wall near you, it will fire only ones that are on even terrain, more even terrain, that were not in the wall. So what it means is that in tight spaces you'll just get way less potential out of this skill. I think this should be just fixed. I mean, the animation is great, but animation shouldn't limit the skill potential. So now there's one thing about 7 shot I don't like. The developers said that they want Revenant Shortbow to be a sort of a reverse of Ranger's Shortbow. Ranger's Shortbow wants to be in close range, so it can hit as much poison volleys as possible. Now, 7 shot is supposed to be the opposite of it. You want to be as far as possible. Now the problem with this is 7 shot, first things first, is a skill shot. It means that if the target is moving, hitting with 7 shots at max range, 900 range, is a tough task. I can do it on stationary targets, but still. Second thing, most fights occur in this middle range. As you're 900 range, you won't be standing somewhere sniping off the point. You want to be in semi-mid range, you want to have some range, but you know, you're ready to switch to your mace or whatever. So as a result of that, most of the times your enemy will get hit by maybe 2 or 3 arrows, which just guts the potential of this. Because instead of 7 shots, you're getting 3 or 2 or even 1 if the enemy dodges the entire thing. As the cast time is fairly heavy for a skill shot that also has an aftercast, and it's just really tough to shoot someone with. Now, the next criticism of mine when it comes to this skill is that it's a great skill shot, but it doesn't really reward you something extra for hitting all 7 shots. I think this would be really cool if it gained some bonus damage or didn't cost any energy when it hits all 7 shots on one target. Basically, if the enemy is hit by the center of the skill. Boom. Let's see, it's only 2. Like, it's really buggy. Now, the last criticism of this skill is that the center point is set at the max range, 900 range. This skill is fairly similar to Li Ming's arcane missiles from Heroes of the Storm, and she has really similar skill shot. The difference is she can adjust the center point, and I think if we are able to adjust the center point of the 7 shots, that would be really good. Basically, she chooses, instead of having this set max range center point, she can adjust the center point to be here, for example. At this point the arrow would cross, and at this point the max damage would be applied. I think this is ultimately this is the best solution to this skill. So in general, I would like to have this functionality of adjusting center point of it along the way. It shouldn't be max range, fixing the bugs, and probably some bonus stuff if you hit all the 7 shots. Now, fourth skill, Spirit Crush. Spirit Crush to me feels like ability that has a cool animation but doesn't really provide much of an impact. It costs 15 energy. It has fairly slow cast time. It can be cast while moving, but it cannot be cast behind you, which is quite odd since most ground targeted abilities, even 7-shot, can be, even on the move. And Spirit Crush shares the animations with R-Sync Arrow from Warrior, but still, as you can see, I can't fire it behind me, for whatever reason. Now, the other criticism of the skill is that it applies slow and burning, but it doesn't really apply neither good power damage or condition damage. It applies slow, but Revenant doesn't really get much of a value from slow. And we don't really have much of a good interrupts. We have some interrupts on staff, especially staff 5, but there are no particularly interrupt traits, only in Kalla, Ashen Demana, and Dismantle Fortifications. There's really not much compared to, for example, Thief, who really love slow, or the new Spellbreaker, which makes a great use of slow. For us, slow is just a kind of cover condition, throwaway condition. But I would like this skill to be as something that would be a defensive skill for for the Shortbow on the Revenant. Possibly some sort of ward against melee. Some skills inspired from Guild Wars 1 that just basically conjure an area when melee attackers are less dangerous for you and for your teammates. And maybe they're burned a bit. So something like this. Shortbow currently has no escape. So being a 900 range weapon, it should have won. The CC is not really that helpful when the enemy divers go on you, such as these. So yeah, like an defensive area would be great. Also the cast time of this thing could be a bit quicker. Like the cast time itself is fine, but the delay between the shot and the actual volley is a pretty hefty one. Okay, so the fifth skill, Scorch Razor. This is actually really good ability. It's a 2-second knockdown, 10-second cooldown. If you ever played PvP, it probably says that yeah, it will be used, and it's indeed used. It's a really good ability. It also burns. The odd thing about this is the targeting. It's a top targeted ability. However, if you're stationary, it won't turn you for the shot. Normally, as you can see, I'm placing. It requires line of sight, but it requires also facing. And normally, if you stand still and you press an ability, your player character will turn and fire the ability. For example, X4. As you can see, the character turned. With Scorch Razor, it doesn't turn. Generally, it's 3.2 it's 3/3 second cast time, and I think this skill would be really good if it was a skill shot. This ability should definitely be a skill shot. It's just held back by tap targeting and the odd behaviors. So yeah, that would be my general impressions of Revenant Shortbow. So yeah, guys, have fun, Renegade, and that's it.